obviously the biggest news of this Tuesday is that the 76ers chose to fire Doc Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody is asking, is Doc somebody that the Suns might look at? How do you feel about this, Gerald?
Look, so Doc Rivers has gotten kind of an unfair reputation over the last few years, just because he's come up consistently short in the playoffs. And he hasn't done a phenomenal job with the Sixers, but ironically enough, I feel like this season he did the best job he had done in Philly. Like, it wasn't his fault that Joel Embiid really struggled in that second round series, that him and Harden both no-showed Game 7. And they forced a Game 7 against the Celtics team that, depending on who you ask, is the favorite to win it all this year right now. So I think Doc Rivers did a great job this year. In terms of him being in Phoenix, I feel like if you're going to go that route, you should have just kept Monty. Like, if your focus is a guy who is a good coach, but not a great playoff coach, a guy who's really good at bringing locker rooms together, coaching through adversity, implementing a culture, all that stuff, you should have just kept the guy that you had that already did those things.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Rivers would be a complete lateral move, probably a little bit of a downgrade, honestly, in my book. I feel like he's better for like a middle tier team. The Suns are a team that needs to make an upgrade at head coach if they want to get where they want to go. So I think Doc Rivers has been portrayed unfairly in terms of his value as a coach, but I just don't think he'd be the right fit here considering what the Suns need to do next.
I saw somebody call Doc Rivers what Monty Williams will be with 10 more years of experience.
I mean, I don't know. I hope so for Monty, because that means he would have a championship as well.
And he would also have a nice long career as a coach in the NBA.
Yes. And we get in this habit of looking at coaches or players as like trash when really they're in the top 1% of the population in terms of what they do. And then Doc fits firmly in that category. Like, he is a good coach. He's just not the guy that you maybe need to make playoff adjustments in a series. There are a lot of younger minds, a lot of sharp minds in this NBA now that are good at that. And that's why we're gravitating as a fan base towards Ty Lue right now, towards Nick Nurse, towards these other names, fresher faces, that type of thing. So again, I don't think Doc's a bad coach. I just don't think he's the right fit here.
I agree. And obviously, based on just the comments alone that we've seen in the chat and on Twitter today with this news coming down, most Suns fans are not in favor of bringing Doc Rivers to the Phoenix Suns, which doesn't surprise me. It feels like Doc might go back to Houston.
He could. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a couple of openings that he's going to be in contention for. I think the Bucks were mentioned today as one that he could be in the running for.
I feel like the Bucks are going to interview every available coach for the most part.
It sure seems that way.
The Bucks are pretty open to any and everyone, where the Suns feel more particular about who they want.
Yeah, and we've heard Tyronn Lue, we've heard Nick Nurse, we've heard Kevin Young will get an interview with the Suns. I think Shams on FanDuel TV today said that like this is going to take some time to flesh out because it is a game of musical chairs right now. So I'm sure the Suns will do their due diligence, but it does definitely seem that they've locked onto a couple of targets, and I'm okay with that because from the looks of it, the names that they've locked onto are the types of coaches that you would want to bring in here after parting ways with Monty. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I don't think Doc is the type of guy that you're looking for being so closely similar to Monty in their coaching style. So
we're out on Doc Rivers.
I personally am. He's going to get a job somewhere. It just probably shouldn't be in Phoenix.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So odds on, what's the over-under here? I know I asked you yesterday how long you think it'll take for this coaching search to be wrapped up for the Suns. I say 2 weeks.
Okay.
But now we've got another team in the mix. We're at 5. 5 NBA teams looking for a new head coach. We could maybe potentially see some more, maybe not. Who knows? Depends on the whole Ty Lue situation or if somebody's able to poach a coach from another team. Over under 2 weeks for you now with the new information.
I'm still going to go under.
Okay.
It'll probably be around that 2 to 3 week mark. So that's a good line that you're setting there, Linz. I would probably go under. I feel
Under?
like you want to have a coach installed leading up to the draft, even though the Suns only have like a second round pick this year and it's pretty far down the line. I feel like you need time to like get everybody on the same page ahead of free agency, ahead of the draft, because on draft night and in these next couple of weeks, we're going to hear a lot of trade rumors as well in regards to DeAndre Ayton, in regards to Chris Paul. You want your new head coach to be on board and to understand what's coming in terms of roster changes. So I feel like you probably want to have that squared away ahead of time. I could be wrong. Maybe they just want to make the moves that they make and then look at it and be like, okay, who wants to coach this group? But that's a weird way to recruit. Like we've seen Suns players, guys who have signed for the veteran minimum, guys who have wanted to be traded here, cite the leadership of James Jones and Monty Williams as part of the appeal to play here. So I feel like you want to have a coach in place beforehand to kind of appeal to those free agents in the same way.
Yeah. Not only that, but just to also have a say in it, right? Like you want your coach to also be able to buy in on who you're bringing in around Devin Booker and DeAndre and or not DeAndre Ayton, sorry, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and then also maybe have a say in what happens with DA and CP3.
Right.
So I'm going to go with the under still as well. Selfishly, I would like this to be a shorter situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to have this drag out and then all the other things that we haven't even been able to touch on for this offseason drag out as well. So fingers crossed we hit the under on that.